Welcome to another episode of Medicine in Small Doses with Dr. Amobi. I'm your host, Uju, and on today's episode, we are going to be discussing part 2 of our Men's Health Month subject, erectile dysfunction. On today's episode, we're looking at how the partners, the wives of men who have erectile dysfunction, how they present in or have presented in Dr. Amobi's clinic, and just to see from their perspective. So you're going to be like a fly on the wall, and as usual, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we're going to get straight into it. So Doctor, I am going to encourage you to kind of get into character. We've seen some of your humorous sides on previous episodes, and we know that you are good at that part. So I think that will help to make this episode more relatable and interesting for the listeners. So if we kind of present a character, we can call her Choma, for example. Say she's possibly 33 and she's having issues with her husband in the department of ED. Okay. But maybe she doesn't know it's ED. So basically they're having, she feels like perhaps he's always forthcoming, but when it comes time, to get... I think, okay, that's, No, maybe perhaps she's not. So she's come to seek your advice.
To be fair, though, is most women who typically come to see us with a presentation about their partner, it's either they know or they are quite unsure. Some of the telltale signs is usually, men who, whenever it's come towards bedtime, they'll like start arguing, out of character. So, when they're like at work, they would, talk so sweetly. As soon as they walk to the house, they're fronting or they complain that they're tired and all of those things, and those are like their own protective mechanism, how they want to shy away from that, but, the other flip side is most of them don't want to do anything about it. And then, nobody knows, they don't have a clear plan as to how long don't want to take that too. I have seen a lot of relationships break down or people separate as a consequence of some of these issues because the men either A, don't want to, or B, some partners, female partners, are not very supportive. We see cases where people will come in and say seek help, and they're saying that their partners are calling them like the big softie and all of those names that are affecting their emotion, the egos, exactly. So okay, so let's start with trauma, and you're going to draw from previous different cases that you've experienced in the past, but this is a manufactured case. Okay. So so let's do like a proper Nigerian case then. Okay. So what I mean is like Nigerian character. So Choma, you said 33 years old. So, so Choma will come in and then she will say like, Doctor, so Choma knows me already. Yeah? Okay, cool. So, Doctor, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Everything in my life is just like, it's just as if the devil has turned my whole life into something I don't even recognize. Do you know what I mean? Doctor, up until 2018, I was in Nigeria. I just finished my NYSC. So when I finished my NYSC, this guy, Ikenna, came home to Nigeria. I'm just giving you this context so that you see, just so that you can see the type of pain I'm going through, doctor. So please bear with me. So Ikenna came home to his father for his father's 65th birthday. And he saw me and then he said to me, I will definitely marry you. Yeah. There are so many men who wanted to marry me that time. There's people from America. There's some people from Europe, some people from Germany, and I'm not the type, everybody, even some people who are based in Nigeria, everybody wanted, because I'm that type of girl. I don't go out. I don't do boyfriends and all those things, you see. So I met him, and the funny thing is, Ikenna even liked me so much that he stayed in Nigeria for extra 2 months to do the traditional thing every Nigerian people do. So he did all of those things, and And then we got married in Nigeria. And then he sent for me to come and stay with him here in London. So, when we were in Nigeria, Ikenna would not take his hands off me. You know, Niger men now. You know, he's the romantic. You know, 1 minute he just put his hand in his pocket, he, whip out a flower. Yeah. So, and he would take me to all these places. So he was wonderful. So even when I came to London, as soon as we go to Heathrow, we're still inside the cab. I know that as soon as we get home, Ikenna will not let me rest until he until we, you know what I mean, eh? So, so since then, Ikenna every day, he will be at work. Even sometimes he will go inside the bathroom and send me one of those, dodgy pictures, and, he's just one funny guy like that, I don't send those pictures, just in case he loses his phone, I respect myself, but Ikenna is wild, even if on the train, he will fly somewhere. If Ikenna want to go to the aeroplane toilet, he is just, and I'm not complaining, so everything I said now, you may think that, if everything is this good, why are you complaining? Doctor, COVID hit. Before COVID though, Ikenna started to slow down because he works hard too much. Ikenna is very helpful. Even my brothers in Nigeria, Ikenna is helping pay their school fees. He's helping out a lot. He's building us a house in Nigeria. He wanted to buy a house here. So he works 12 hours, 14 hours, and I applaud him for that. So sometimes, even before we used to do every day, and then he reduced it to 3 days. I didn't mind. Most of the times I do for him. Not that I don't enjoy you, but then it started becoming like 2 times a week. And then it become 1 time a week. And I know he's tired. But it was when he started displaying some sort of behavior, like now, I'm a woman of need. I'm used to that type of affection. But when I come close to him and rub his back, there's a way I don't know whether this is like Nigerian men or Igbo men thing. When you rub the other side of their back, where their shoulders are, he gets excited. You rub Ikenna's shoulder, nothing happens. You do other things man and woman do together, nothing. He doesn't respond. So I begin to think, is he started seeing somebody else? Is there something that is he now finding me attractive? I'm working, so I'm bringing money to it's not like I'm slouching at his house and just eating his money. So, doctor, now fast forward a bit, COVID come hit. One would have thought that COVID would give us opportunity to catch up on all those long hours that it was like Ikenna's worst nightmare. Every day he's looking out through the window as if like he's just hoping that COVID will just stop. As soon as his boss said people can come back to the office, do you know that this man was the first to raise his hand that he wants to go back to the office? So he started avoiding any intimacy. But when he's in a hotel, like at work or something, he would, do the FaceTime and then we do all this. If he walks through the door, nothing. So I started reading all these books about and summers and, these romantic things. Doctor, I'm from Onitsha. We don't have Ansomas in Onitsha. But I read about this Ansoma's place. I went there, buy some nice lingerie, like, bra and all the... Ikenna start complaining about how much I spent. That was the last straw. If Ikenna wants me to go home, I'll pack my bag and go back to my father's house. The God that brought me here will not forsake me. I don't know what I did to the man. When he's outside the home, he's very lovely. When he comes back here, so doctor, please, because if you want to help me, talk to him. You're a Nigerian man like him. And maybe he will understand. If he's going through stress. I don't want to talk to my family about this because I don't want them to start like suspecting him, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's going through, men don't talk. He cannot don't talk. I say, if he cannot talk to me, we are supposed to, when God put join two together, we're supposed to be one, but he doesn't. So because is it possible that you can call him, at least invite him here and then find out how he is, what is bothering him? Doctor, I am just at loss because, I no go fit, I no go fit, the God will bring me here. Ingo help us solve this problem. Otherwise, I could just carry my bag, go back to Nigeria. So yeah, the floor is yours, doctor. Actually, doctor, before you even say anything, when I saying all these things, he make it look like once a week is not enough for me. Doctor, what I'm saying is it has been 1 year, a whole year. This man has not touched me. He has not touched, even hold hand. No touch, no selfie together, no nothing. If I come one room, it's like he wants to run away. I have followed him to work. I followed him. I look at his phone. I follow him. I listen to his phone conversation. I done my investigation. I don't think I can't see him. I don't know what is happening because he's not talking to anyone. Or maybe I don't know, doctor. That's the worst part of it. 1 whole year. I'm 33. I'm not 83. So anyway, okay, it's your turn now, Dr. Berg. So I don't want to take all the time here because I know you're busy. This is not a medical problem. But you're our own person. Since I've been in this country, it's Oyibo doctors that I tend to see until I find you. So you're my brother. So Biko, please help me. Your sister, I'm in trouble, Makachuku.
Oh my, I had to literally hold my mouth throughout that dialogue, that monologue. That was hilarious. Okay, doctor. Okay, seriously. So what would you do or advise in this situation or similar?
So the difficulty here, well, in the first instance is let's demonstrate that, the patient has good relationship with you to some capacity, and for them to, show up a year later, it's like this is their last straw, right? And what that informs me as well is perhaps she's advised him to come and see me or see a doctor, but he's been refusing or she's unsure exactly what is happening, let's say. So now I can't just pick up a phone and call the husband to say, hey, come here, right? Because we can't even acknowledge that the husband is registered there, even if she knows 100% that he is registered. So how I would typically do this, and this goes across most other complaints, people who get mental health problems or so many other issues, relatives who get like Alzheimer's, memory thing, they will go, I will usually say to them, you need to get them here. So if he's able to come here, then I'll take it from there. So in this particular instance, let's say this is reality. So what I will do is I will ask her to ask her husband to call to make an appointment. And then when they make an appointment, I would ask them to book him with me because, of course, now I'm in 4K front row view of what's happening in their family. And then I'll be able to do the consultation with the man in this case, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Perfect sense. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. So just to clarify, can someone then book an appointment on behalf of their partner to talk about their partner or husband situation? Because obviously you have to book an appointment in your own name.
Yeah.
I know you can do it as a parent. You can book for your children, obviously.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that the appointment topic is about someone else. Is that advisable or...
there are circumstances. So provided I'm not divulging any information, I can be a listening ear.
Right.
So we see people, let's say, whose family member is struggling with mental health problems or got Alzheimer's, things like that. They'll book appointment, and you tell them from onset, like, look, I cannot confirm or deny anything that you're saying here, but I'm just being a listening ear.
And that's...
and I think that's enough, because I think that should be sufficient.
Okay, brilliant. But ideally, they want to come with the person in question.
So if she had asked me like, so can you check if it's registered here? There's no way I would have done that. You know what I mean? Because that would be breach of his confidentiality. GDPR. And then GDPR compliance. You can't even dream to do that. Okay. So
interesting position for you to be in, and you can, I guess, only hope that. See you.
Because the that's the beauty of family medicine. You know, it's about family, but of course you maintain boundaries to what you can divulge or not. And you know, issues like this, you know, it gives me the opportunity to treat the whole family. You know, like one of the things I do in my menopause clinic as well is when people come with like low libido and their partners are, you know, let's say, you know, affected by that, I would say to them, bring your partner in the next consultation so that I can explain how menopause will affect, you know, your libido, your memory fog, or your emotional ability and things like that. So it's always a good way to, yeah.
Last question. Have you got any tips for how people can approach their partner with the idea of bringing them into clinic without kind of just saying flat out, you need to go? Is there more...
Yeah, when it comes to ED, very sensitive topic. I think you know, you can take I don't want to say take the fish to water, but you can make them drink. But I think bring it up in a very sensitive manner, right? You know, hi John, I think I have observed that, you know, the way we are normally, you know, affectionate with each other, you know, has declined recently. You know, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that's a fair assessment? You know, and you know your partner better, so you know how to get into it. But don't be surprised that the men are going to go absolutely defensive and they will blame it on everything on their rat. And then because they try to protect their, you know, masculinity, you know, because ED is like the height. ED is the height of masculinity. That's one area you don't want to touch. You know what I mean? So most men, is such a big deal that they would rather. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? So I would say, you know your partner better. If you can go through talk therapy, you know, like go to a psychologist or something, or family therapist, so that, you know, there's a gradual process to elicit what the problem might be. And the problem may be psychological, like we said earlier, maybe social, it may be as a consequence of health issues as well.
And it could be a temporary issue.
And it can be a very temporary issue, you know. Every man on earth would have one day of a bad time, you know, that something doesn't work the way they want. Not just one day. Normally we say, like, if it happens, I usually say to patients, if it's over like 20 times that you've happened, then maybe you need to, or half of the time, you know, between 20% and half of the time, that then you start thinking, okay, something is, you know, is wrong here. So
excellent. Okay, well, you know, it'll be great to hear from
the male
perspective, which is exactly what's going to happen in the next episode, so tune in for that. But, you know, we hope you found this episode useful, and thank you again for tuning in. For all our listeners out there who want to connect with Dr. Amobi, the best way to do that is on LinkedIn at Dr. Amobi. You know, Dr. Amobi is the Chief Medical Officer of 3 clinics. To find out more about the services he provides and how they can help you, please contact him through his team via the following websites: passporthealthuk.com, mymenopausegp.com, and the lifestylewellnessclinic.com. You can also follow Medicine in Small Doses on Instagram at Medicine in Small Doses. We look forward to you joining us on future episodes, and I want to thank you personally for listening.